A bunch of negative reviews have been given to Skull and Bones since it was released because it lacks the mechanics and contents that it's supposed to have as a pirate game. Many gamers got disappointed because it didn't give the feeling of a pirate game. Probably just another warship in the golden age of piracy setting. If you're trying to make a pirate game, then you should make the player feel like they're a deadly pirate captain. If there are fewer mechanics to being a pirate, then it's not going to give pirate game vibes. Disclaimer: I know these games aren't comparable or alike to each other, and you all will tell me they're not the same. Yeah, I get it. They're different games with different aspects, but of course, the core gameplay of the pirate games is what gamers are looking for in today's game, since it's the same pirate game in terms of quality and content. The game was introduced as a pirate and naval combat game by Ubisoft, so people expected it to be a cool pirate game. But if you've enjoyed Skull and Bones today, maybe you're enjoying the naval combat mechanics of the game and can tell it's a different game and that it can't be compared to other games like Sea of Thieves. But when it comes to pirate games, it's not really good. And accept it or not, it's also a pirate game. You command and maneuver a ship in both games. You sail out for treasure and loot. You also take loot back to port to sell for money. You fight with cannons. And yeah, you encounter sea monsters. In my opinion, they should have added more land or hand-to-hand combat.
By your leave, Mr. Turner.
Not just focusing on naval combat, because it'll become a boring, repetitive game as time goes by. We need to at least feel the vibe of showing who's the boss with other pirate players, because in reality, it's not just about naval combat, it's about how you'll dominate other pirates with your skills in ships, swords, and guns. So technically, the game is more about the ship. There are cosmetics and upgrades for your ship, character, and crew, but sometimes it doesn't even add up to your gaming experience. Naval combat is pretty repetitive, to be honest. And if the developers are slow on putting some updates on this one, this game is going to be replaced by other games or die. Probably other Sea of Thieves players will just go back home. But yeah, I'm not really impressed. And it's not a remarkable game, because for me, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag is better than this Skull and Bones. The boarding mechanics in Assassin's Creed are better. You can go to an enemy ship and then have hand-to-hand combat with the enemies. What's the point of having a well-dripped character if they can't be remembered in a hand-to-hand battle? But if we're talking about naval combat only, and you're up to many players, props to Skull and Bones for making the battle chaotic, fun, and thrilling. I personally liked Sea of Thieves more than Skull and Bones because it has mechanics that will make you feel more like a pirate. Hand-to-hand combat allows you to explore the sea and islands, and the thing that I really liked in Sea of Thieves is the under-the-sea exploration with a good ambience and loot. That's how a good pirate game is. Skull and Bones might be a winner in some points, like the waves and tsunamis, another cool mechanic, but this is just a minor point in the game. Yes, I get that Ubisoft wants to make a game based on Assassin's Creed, Black Flag with the same engine, but hey, at least give some depth to the game. The engine is pretty great, advanced, and very next-gen, but Sea of Thieves also delivers us a good environment, good places to explore, and decent physics for everything, because it was made using Unreal Engine 5, another next-gen engine. So don't tell me it doesn't have good graphics compared to Skull and Bones. Well, it's already a subjective topic because, for some, it's already good graphics. Skull and Bones is just aiming for a realistic design, and that doesn't mean it's got good graphics. But then, again, when it comes to exploration and stuff, I think Sea of Thieves can give more to the players in terms of land exploration and underwater exploration. I mean, why would I spend $60 on the game if it's not rich in content? I mean, this is a pirate game, and players will normally compare other pirate games to it for having the same niche. And let's accept the fact that Skull and Bones are based on Assassin's Creed 4. Black Flag, and they're really aiming for a good pirate game, but haven't achieved that. They already said that it'd be heavily focused on piracy and naval combat. I mean, why did you play a pirate game if you can't be a pirate at its finest? Yes, they're not the same, because you're a boat in the skull and bones with naval combat. In Assassin's Creed, there's hand-to-hand combat and naval combat, while in Sea of Thieves, you can be the boat, adjust the sails, fix the broken ship, have hand-to-hand combat on the enemy ship, and be the pirate king. I know that every game studio is very ambitious with their games, especially if they're not indie game developers, and you know they won't create a simple and repetitive game like that. They're obviously aiming for a similar game, Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. But they didn't manage to add other mechanics, and it turns out to be a different game, and not comparable to others. It was obviously nerfed, and knowingly, it's been developed for about 11 years, which is kind of disappointing, but yeah, if you want some naval combat, and you really like playing warships and enjoying the waves of the ocean, this is a perfectly fit game for you. But if you're looking for a full pirate game, there are other games out there that's better. I think you'll enjoy Skull and Bones when it comes to naval combat. It could bring chaos and enjoyment to the players who want this type of gameplay. But if you really want a good experience rich with content, try Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. If you haven't played it because it'll give you that awesome gameplay. But let's be real here. The majority of players won't spend much for the mid-quality they've given us, especially if it lacks content. Naval combat is enjoyable, yeah, fine, but it's very far before reaching success. And the worst part is that it'll be forgotten and become a backlog. Don't tolerate the studio paying full price for a game that isn't really interesting and impressive. If it caught your attention, good, and I'm happy for you. But if you're really looking for quality, I think we're on the same page. So again, it's up to you guys because we have different preferences for enjoying the game, but the majority dislike it for lacking content as a pirate game. Overall, for naval combat, well, it's a good game and a masterpiece at some point. Especially adding those environments with tsunamis and such. I hope you've enjoyed watching the video. Please don't forget to subscribe.